All right, here's a quick review of USJ, otherwise known as Universal Studios Japan. So we went there yesterday and we're just doing a little reflection on it because it was a really fun time actually. It's way more fun than I expected it to be. So I'm someone who's not new to theme parks. I've lived in SoCal most of my life. So that means I have gone to Six Flags a whole bunch, gone to Disneyland, been to Knott's Berry Farm as well, like more times than I can count. So Universal Studios in America as well. I've been there plenty of times. And honestly, a lot of it has gotten stale for me. Like a lot of it feels like, you know, what's the point in going to a theme park other than maybe Six Flags? Like Six Flags, the rides there are so thrilling that I feel like it's worth it. But I think it's mostly moved to sort of experience rather than thrill. This Universal Studios Japan is a mixture of having really good rides and also like the place is just unique. Firstly Nintendo World, when we went there at night, that was amazing. Like definitely a place you have to see if you like theme parks, because the way it was decorated, the way it was, just everything about it, the rides, like inside the rides with the waiting lines, like my god, like it is a piece of art in reality. Like it feels like you were transported into one of the games. For me, the only thing that really compares is like Disneyland, I guess, during one of their seasonal things where they decorate a lot and there's a lot of nice decorations and stuff. Even at Disney Sea in Japan, it isn't as nice, to be honest. Like nothing has wowed me as much as Nintendo World in Universal Studios Japan, like in terms of theme parks in a while. Like just going in it and seeing it, like I've never, actually I feel like I have seen a video of just like a random video of the inside place. I think it looks nicer at night. I only saw it at night, but I saw like a video of it during the day and it didn't hit quite the same way. So I highly recommend checking it out at night. But another place that was really incredible was the Harry Potter section. Like it also felt like you were transported into the movies. I believe there is a Harry Potter section in Universal in California. I've been to it at least twice now, but it's like a little forgettable, to be honest. Like a part of me wasn't that impressed by it. Like I thought it was great and cool, but something about the one in Japan just seemed way better. I need to go back, to be honest, to Universal in California since it's been a while. Maybe they've improved it, but I did not get the same feeling when I saw it the first time than I did compared to like in Universal USJ, because yeah, it felt really cool. And the ride there, my gosh, that was a really unique ride. It kind of made me dizzy, but it was worth it because the ride was not something I've ever experienced before. Like it was very unique. It felt like it's not the roller coaster one. It's the one that basically has some screens sometimes that felt somewhat reminiscent of like Soarin', California Soarin', but definitely not just that. There were like real animatronics, real like things. I don't know, I'm not very good at describing like visuals right now, but let's just say that it was great and amazing and like really fun. And I think that ride definitely is one of my favorites of all time. Like I would definitely go back to check it out again. And once again, the line for that ride was also really nice. It took you through areas that felt like you were in the Harry Potter movies. And then there's a ride called the Flying Dinosaur in the Jurassic Park world that was kind of similar to Tatsu in some ways, but in some ways it was better than Tatsu, which is crazy because Tatsu is my favorite of all time rides, roller coasters. Tatsu makes, I think whenever I fly in my dreams, it's a simulation, or Tatsu is like what my dreams base flying on, like how it feels to fly. For Flying Dinosaur, it's actually kind of similar. Like there's a similar feeling to it, but when it turns you 180 degrees and you're like basically facing the sky, like that's how I imagine it being if you could fly and you just did that in the air. Like that seems so cool. It felt so cool. So one of my new favorite rides for sure. Like you have to check out that one, even though the line for that one is probably the most boring because it's just a zigzag, but it was worth it, I'd say. I think that's one of the issues of USJ though. It wasn't all like incredible and amazing, primarily because of lines. Just waiting in line in general at theme parks is why I don't go to them. primarily because I just don't want to waste my time doing that. It's like, there's way better things to do than wait in line. But, going once in a while is totally fine. And for USJ, my girlfriend told me that basically it's usually way busier than the day we went. And the day we went was like one of the cheapest days. It was, I believe, 8,800 yen for the day that we went. So that's pretty cheap. That's like 50 something dollars right now, USD. And we, for Disneyland, it's way more than that. It's like 150 something, I guess, if you have to, because you have to include parking. So just a third. And to me, it's a better experience if you, I just think it's an overall better experience, to be honest. I'm not a Disneyland hater. I actually enjoy Disneyland very much and have been there recently and had a good experience with it. But definitely for the price, I can understand why there's like a lot more people, why it usually is more crowded, and some of the lines were definitely long. One of them was like stated to be 2 hours, but none of them were actually that long. Like I think every time we went in a line, it was shorter than the stated time, like by a big amount. Like the Mario Kart ride said that it was like 110 minutes when we went in, but it took us less than an hour to actually get to the end and ride it. So I don't know what was up with that, but I was very glad about that. And we always had like more time to just chill or do something before rides because we planned it in a way that was based on the estimated times, and they were always wrong. They were always shorter. So that's really, really good. But in general, one time my girlfriend told me they waited like 4 hours from one line when the Harry Potter section came out. That was a long time ago, but that's how bad it can get sometimes. And there was a ride that apparently took like 7 hours to get through. And I don't understand why people would line up for that. But something my girlfriend told me as well is that I guess culturally in Japan, people are more willing to line up for a long time. I don't know how true that is, but it's something that she's observed. So I'll just take her word for it. I think I actually heard that about Singaporeans as well. My friend from Singapore told me that people in general are pretty willing to wait in lines. But for me, I just don't like, I would never wait for a ride like for longer than 2 hours. I think that's my limit. Like if it's 2 hours, okay, maybe. But if it's longer than 2 hours, I'm just like, is that really worth it? I'd rather just like walk around the area for 2 hours and really explore it rather than ride the ride unless it's like the best ride ever. But yeah, that was the negative about it because there were a lot of people, and despite the rides going faster than they said they would for the lines, I still felt like it was hard to walk around sometimes. Like it's easy to bump into people. It's just crowded in general, but I guess that's kind of what a theme park is. So it wasn't terrible in those standards, but imagining like half the people not being there, it would be such a better experience. But overall, I had fun, and I thought that it was a great day. We kind of arrived a little later though, around I think 11, but we left at closing time, and so that was a good like 10, 11 hours. But definitely a lot of places to see, or it's actually quite small if you think about it. You can walk around the whole thing pretty quick, I think, but don't expect to get through every ride or get to see like absolutely everything in detail unless you go like when it opens all the way until it closes. Like then it might be possible. But we also went on a weekday as well, and it was still pretty crowded. So good luck. But that was my overall review. I think the food prices were fine. Like, of course, it's theme park food prices, so everything is increased by maybe like $5 extra, but it wasn't terrible, especially if you're coming from America. But I would definitely recommend like to pre-plan some activities to do while in line. I think that will definitely help out. For us, we were kind of really tired already because we had a whole day beforehand of doing other things. So we would just rest mostly, but sometimes we would play the Switch together for some games. And yeah, overall, really great day and great time with Universal Studios Japan, and I highly recommend it. I feel like I underestimated how much I would like it. I was kind of surprised at how much I would like it. I would not have expected myself to even care to make a video like this, but like I thought the experience was like way better than I initially expected. Like it's become one of my favorite theme parks, let's just say that, when I expected it to be, good, but like not amazing. I thought it was amazing, and that it's definitely worth going to. And with that, I'm going to end the review. Catch you guys in the next one.